Hello everybody, Florentine Yu-Gi-Oh here, and thank you for the 500 subscribers. I just wanted to get that on the table right now, is that I never thought I'd make it this far with all the ups and downs and all arounds that the channel has been through, and with me now juggling Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, a full-time job, and family to take care of. Mostly my elders, but I never thought I could really get this far, and I guess I can go a little bit further. So this is going to be the long-awaited Orichalcos challenge deck profile that I did promise I was going to do earlier. Actually, I think it was last month. But between all the reasons I just explained, I kind of had to put it off until now. But anyway, there is a new concept in the challenge that I'm going to explain at the end of the deck profile. It's going to be the last few cards you'll see. And then I'll put the rules for this challenge is I play an Orica custom deck that uses banned cards, anime exclusive cards, and some custom original cards to kind of create a fun, interesting, casual game where we can just sit down and play. And it's just kind of a take a break of the fast-paced, competitive atmosphere of Yu-Gi-Oh. Just to try something a little different. Anyway, so the rules for this challenge is I play this deck, and then you have to play an advanced format deck against it. There are a few exceptions to that, like if you're playing a character deck or your own challenge deck, and then there's also rules involving the Seal of Orichalcos. Like, the premise of the challenge is that you basically defend your soul from the Seal of Orichalcos. If you lose a duel with the Seal, it's a best-of-3 match until the Seal is activated, and then whoever wins the duel with the Seal on the field wins the match, and also the loser's soul. You see, so when you lose your soul in this challenge, I get your picture, it becomes one of my soul tokens. This guy is a pretty cool dude. And then he's my Mirror Knight as well. So that's what happens to you when you lose your soul. I'm also going to be giving out, when you win, you get to either capture my soul, or you can choose to free a soul that I've already captured. My soul cannot be in danger unless I have no souls to free. So you can't claim the Florentine Yu-Gi-Oh soul until all the other souls have been freed. And that's basically the whole premise of the challenge. I am thinking of having a secondary prize. I'm just not sure what it'll be. Maybe a custom token or something that I make for you. And then that'll probably be coming soon. But anyway, we have a lot to cover in this deck profile, so I really want to move on. So let's get in the deck. I'm going to be skimming through some of the older cards you've already seen, only because we all know what they do. Here's Gygus. Whenever he's destroyed, he comes back 500 more attack. I have to skip my next draw phase if I do so. But yeah, he's pretty good. He's also a level 4, which the deck is now a rank 4 variant of Orichalcos. It always has been, kind of, but then we have Double Cutora, one of the main monsters of the deck. He's, I can pay 500 to special this thing from my hand, and then when he's destroyed by battle or card effect, you get Orichalcos Shinros. Also, he negates all battle damage I would take while Shinros is on the field. While this card's on the field, he negates all battle damage I would take involving monsters I control. And then the damage that he negated becomes Shinros' attack. Shinros, when he summons Dexia and Aristeros. One is always 300 attack higher than the monster it's battling, and the other draws in attacks, and then its defense becomes 300 higher than the attack of the monster that attacked it. And then when Shinros is destroyed by battle or card effect, these all pop. And then we welcome the Divine Serpent. Divine Serpent forces me to discard my entire hand and reduce my life points to 0, but as long as this thing is on my side of the field, I cannot lose the game. Even if it bypasses all win conditions, and it has infinite attack and defense. So that's pretty good, but remember, he's not like immune to card effects by himself, at least. And then I do have to mill 10 cards to be able to attack with him once per turn, so if I'm so late game, he's probably not even going to do anything, so That's the Serpent. Main win condition of the deck. Secondary engine of the deck, we have 3 Orichalcos Rescue Rabbit. Does literally the exact same thing as Rescue Rabbit. And then I love that they put Rescue Rabbit to 3, so I mean I could put this to 3. And then we have our vanillas. Orichalcos Soldier 1 and Orichalcos Soldier 2. Vanillas, one has 2,000 attack and 1,500 defense, and then Orichalcos Soldier 2 has 1,500 attack and 2,000 defense. So they're just Gene Warp Werewolves and whatever, but they're dark, so that's pretty helpful. Then we have some more custom support in the form of Dark Magician Girl of Chaos. Like my cousin Arctic Samuel said in our duel, which was the last video I posted before this one, it's basically a 1 tribute Dark Magician of Chaos, pre-errata, by the way. Then we have Dark Honest, which is really good. I only play 1 because he's pretty OP. He does the same thing as Honest, where you pitch him and gains the attack of the battling monster, the monster it's battling. But this is where Honest is different from Dark Honest, is that while normal Honest is added from the field back to the hand, this one can be added from the graveyard back to the hand. Now I did put it on errata on this card that I can only use 1 effect of Dark Honest per turn. So if I use the hand trap battle effect, I can't use the return to hand effect in the same turn, because otherwise this card would just be way too busted. It'd be infinite discard fodder basically. Last monster of the deck, Mirror Knight Calling. You know how he works. He's the gimmick with my soul tokens and the Mirror Knights. Mirror Knights point for point any monster they battle as long as they have a counter. They can't be destroyed while they have a counter. Well, they remove their counter when they're destroyed. And that's basically that. And then when you destroy the shield counter, you get to see the soul of the Mirror Knight you have destroyed. So that is the monsters, at least for the main deck. Then we have the spells. 3 Silver Orichalcos. This is a proxy of the Upper Deck Entertainment version. So we've got, gives all my monsters 500 extra attack, and then my spell and trap card zones can also be used as monster card zones. You can't attack a monster in my back row with a monster unless my front row is empty, and also I'm going to rule that you can't attack a monster in the back row if one of my extra monster zones is occupied as well. So I can also move monsters from the front row to the back row, but I'm going to rule it that I can't move a monster from the extra zone to the back row, because otherwise it creates a lot of confusing and also really broken shenanigans and scenarios. So I'm just going to say anything up here, if there's anything up here and anything in here or here in the extra zone, monsters in here can't be attacked until the extra zone or the main zones are clear. So that's the ruling on the new ruling on the seal for the extra zones. So we got the seal of Orichalcos itself. We have Orichalcos Deuteros, which you overlay this over the seal. You can only activate 1 Orichalcos field spell per turn, and then so you can't like play this and then Tridos and then seal this and Tridos in the same turn. You actually have to wait 1 turn for each. But this one has all the effects from the anime. If you try to burn me with burn damage or attack me directly, I contribute a monster to negate that burn damage or attacking monster and destroy it. And it also gives me 500 life points during each of my main phases. I choose to activate the power for each monster I control, which is really nice for getting life points back. And then we have Orichalcos Tridos, which is the last of the Orichalcos field spells I run now. I used to run the Pendulum monster and extra Orichalcos layers, but that actually ended up getting too consistent, just because I would end up drawing the extra layers before the Pendulum monster. So this build's more of a streamlined build, and Orichalcos Tridos gets pretty cool when it's on the field, because all my monsters become immune to my opponent's spells and traps while it's in play. And it also, each Orichalcos layer stacks up its effects. So like you activate this has its effects and the seal's effects, and then this has the effects of all 3 in itself. So that's how that works. Only 1 Terraforming. I can only manage to fit 1 in the deck just because there's so many other better cards in the deck. Then we have Orichalcos Eye, which is essentially an infinite terraforming. I just have to pay 1,000 life points, but it searches any Orichalcos card from my deck to my hand once per turn. Oh boy, now for I am playing banned cards. I already stated before I was playing banned cards, just to make things a little more interesting and see how the modern meta can handle these old cards. And also the new concept. And also the new skill card concept is only a thing when I play banned cards to kind of give my opponent something they can do to deal with these old cards, if they choose to do so. Then we've got the anime version of Card of Demise, where I draw until I have 5 in my hand, and then in 5 in my standby phase I have to send my entire hand to the grave. This card's insane, but it gets really bad in grind games because you lose your whole hand in 5 turns if the 5 turns actually roll around. But it can be really bad in grind games because you lose your whole hand. Then for board wipes, you have Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and Harpy's Feather Duster. All extremely powerful cards. Monster Reborn, another extremely powerful card. Bring back anything I feel like, I guess. Illusion Gate. Borrowing this from Emple 40. This card allows me to destroy all monsters on your side of the field. So it's a Regeki. I'm actually chose not to play Regeki in the main deck, just because I have this, and Dark Hole is pretty much enough. And this card's actually more powerful than Regeki because at first it wipes your field, and then I get to take any monster in your graveyard and summon it to my side of the field, ignoring all summoning conditions. That's insane. So I usually only use this if I'm going to go for game, because the drawback to this card is that at the end of the turn I lose 90% of my life points. So if I activate this turn 1 and I don't kill you, then I'm going from 8,000 life points to 800 life points at the end of my turn. So Illusion Gate, very powerful. It's usually just the to finish the blow card. And then we have Orichalcos Mirror, which is the ritual spell for the Mirror Knight Calling ritual monster. But the funny thing is that it ritual summons Mirror Knight Calling from the deck, which is really good, but at the same time, Mirror Knight Calling is dead in my hand if I draw it. So it's good, and it also has a little bit of a drawback, but usually it's really good. Then we have Instant Fusion. I'm playing banned cards, so you can guess what this is for. Traps. Warning, Torrential, Dust Shoot, because Ring and Crush card have been errated. So I just needed another banned trap to fill in the trap lineup. And then the last trap is Briar Transplant, which is from the manga. It lets me non-target banish any card on the field, which is really nice. It's like a kaiju and in a trap form. It's the best chainable trap ever made in any dimension, basically. Now for extra deck. For the real stuff so far, double Decode, 1 Proxy Dragon, and 2 Link Spiders, because we are playing vanillas. I haven't made any Orichalcos custom Link support yet. I'm really kind of afraid to, just because I'm afraid I'll make it too overpowered with all the cards currently in the deck already. And I feel it's not really necessary yet, because I can go Link Spider, Orichalcos Dragon, make some pretty good plays with what I've got here in the extra deck. So we've got 1 Norden, instant fusion target, the only instant fusion target, Shockmaster, because on rare occasions I can actually make this guy, usually after a Norden play. But Shockmaster, pretty insane card. It's banned for a reason. But like I said, I like to see what the banned cards can do in the modern format. So we've, for our generic stuff, we have Kestel, Diamond Dire, 101, 41, Utopia the Lightning. That's all the real stuff, well, the legal real stuff. And then we play triple Orichalcos Dragon to wrap up the extra deck. He's a 3,000 rank 4, which is pretty insane. I'm actually thinking of errating this guy, at least lowering his attack in a future installment. But for right now, I'll keep him where he's at, just because there's so much destruction and kaiju effects in the game right now. And we have, so what this guy does is he's basically an Orichalcos Eye that has 3,000 attack. You just detach a material to search an Orichalcos card from your deck, or target an Orichalcos card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So this one has the advantage of searching from the graveyard as well. Next up, we have our side deck. which is 2 turtles. So, pretty self-explanatory. Then we have 1 Curious Traveler. I'm going to keep this card a mystery for... This card's effect a mystery for right now. Looks pretty nice, and she has a pretty devastating effect, which is why I only play 1, and I keep her in the side deck until I need her. So that's Curious Traveler. Then we have the Great Leviathan. I can never decide if I want this guy in the main deck or the side deck, so he usually stays in the side deck, because his effect is pretty darn overpowered, but he's really hard to summon. Then we have the aforementioned Raigeki that I play Illusion Gate instead of in the main deck. Double Twin Twisters, because sometimes quick play back row removal is really good over Feather Duster and Heavy, because you have things like Imperial Order in the game for stun decks. Then we have 2 more Orichalcos Eyes to speed things up if I feel like I need the extra speed. Then we have the OP card itself, Nibelung's Treasure. I just can't let it go. But it found a place in the side deck. Basically, the side deck is mostly a difficulty increase than anything, if I actually end up going to game 2 and 3. Next up, we have actually some real stuff. So we have Imperial Iron Wall to stop stuff from banishing, and then we have 3 Mask of Restrict. The reason Mask of Restrict is in here is mostly just to stop Kaiju heavy decks from just ruining my boards, because I don't tribute that much anyway. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, here is the new concept. These are the skill cards. Now, you have an option when you challenge me to either play the duel as normal or play with skill cards. Then you are assigned randomly one of these skill cards, not this one, but any one of these 8 skill cards. You have Mind Scan, Roma Strategy, Hacking, Foresee Draw, minus Curse, you saw what that one did, Blazing Soul, Shining Draw, and Dimension Summon. So, every one of these skill cards, there's going to be more to come soon, but as you can see, they're all based on an ability or something a character did in the show. So, when you get one of these, so when you choose to play with skill cards, I shuffle them up, you get one randomly assigned to you. So, here's how skill cards work. They're set aside. They're not part of the deck. You can choose to activate them whenever you want, when the conditions are correct. So, like, if it says you can only use it on your turn, you can only use it on your turn. But other than that, they're pretty much they're just an ability you get, like, that you can just use whenever you feel like most of the time. Some of them have permanent effects. Other ones can only be used once. But you only get 1 skill card per duel. If we go to game 2 and 3, you're actually reassigned another skill card randomly before the next duel, so you're not stuck with the same skill card. If you get something that you don't want, you can have a chance to try again. Then we have the other thing with skill cards is that they cannot be chained to or negated because they are not monster spellers or traps, and they can affect anything regardless of it saying this card is unaffected, untargetable, yada yada yada. So we have that. The reason why I wanted to randomly assign a skill card to you if you choose to play with skill cards is because some skill cards are automatically better than others. So take Shining Draw, for example. If I let you pick what skill card you wanted by having them all face up, everyone would just pick Shining Draw. Like, no joke. So that's the reason if you choose to play with skill cards, you get one randomly assigned to you. You get one randomly assigned during each duel of the match. Now, there is a catch to this. When you choose to play with skill cards, and you pick a skill card, I then also get access to my own personal skill card. So, this is the skill card I get when you randomly get your skill card, and we can both use it's just an inherent ability that we both have that we can use. I can only use this skill card though. All these other ones are for my opponent to pick from randomly, and there will be more skill cards to come when I'm feeling more inspired to make them. So that's the new concept. I hope a lot of people have fun with this. It was something I just came up with after seeing a skill card template from things like Duel Links and stuff like that, and then added it to Magic Set Editor just to see what I could come up with. And then the last 2 things in the deck profile are just extra tokens and my Field Center, which I absolutely love. darts. You rock. So, that is the new updated Orichalcos challenge deck. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Comment, tell me what you thought, and maybe even subscribe if you're new. This has been Florentine Yu-Gi-Oh! The Orichalcos challenge has been my favorite thing to do, other than Orica structure decks. Basically, this whole channel is just Orica based right now. I do want to do a deck profile of a real deck after I get a duel video with it done. It's a deck I've been working on. It's nothing you haven't heard of, but it's a deck I really enjoy. So I'll just leave you with that. This is Florentine Yu-Gi-Oh! And Doubts signing out. Hope you enjoyed. See you all in the next video. Goodbye.